Today, I want to talk about something I think a lot of us struggle with, but especially us moms and especially Christian moms, and that is the guilt that comes up when we start talking about boundaries. If you're tired of people pleasing, caring too much, and wondering why peace still feels so hard to hold on to, you're in the right place. Hey, I'm Lori, mom and former people pleaser and your boundaries coach. Here, we talk about how to protect your peace, set healthier boundaries, and get clear on what actually matters so that you can build a life that feels lighter, calmer, and more satisfying. So let's pause the chaos for a minute, moms, catch your breath, and get into this next episode. Welcome back to Freedom Spark, and I am so glad that you have joined us today because I have a topic that I think really is at the center of this entire podcast. And what I'm talking to y'all about today is the guilt that comes up around boundaries. Because for a lot of us, boundaries don't just feel hard, they feel wrong. And they feel selfish. They feel mean, they can feel unloving. And honestly, it can just feel like we're letting people down. And sometimes it even feels unspiritual. Does that sound familiar? Have you ever just wanted to say no, but as soon as you thought it, you just felt guilty? And have you ever said things like, I should just do it. I'll take care of it. I don't want to upset anyone. I know I'm overwhelmed, but I don't want to seem selfish. I know I've said that. Or what about this? Have you ever just prayed for peace and you're like, God, everything is causing me chaos. I need peace. And because if you have, you're not alone. If you spend a lot of your life being the one who shows up and you're carrying everything, you're keeping the peace, and you're trying to make things work, then of course, your boundaries are going to feel uncomfortable. We will feel uncomfortable because what they're doing is interrupting a pattern that we've been living in all this time. Sometimes we assume that if something feels uncomfortable, well, then it must be wrong. But that's not always true, is it? Sometimes it just means you're finally telling the truth. For me, my struggle with saying no, it never actually was about being nice. I gotta say, it was much deeper than that. And let me just be honest here. I thought that if I said yes to everyone, and if I helped and I was the one that supported, I make sure everyone feels okay and is doing great, then somehow it would spill back onto me. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's what I thought. And I thought also that if they were happy, maybe I could feel happy too. And if they felt cared for, maybe I would feel cared for too. Have you ever done that? Or have you ever thought that? And I just thought that if everyone felt okay, maybe then I would feel okay. The thought was like this. If I just kept pouring into people, I felt like it would somehow come back and fill what was missing in me. And I feel like also there was this quiet, almost like transactional layer underneath it. It went like this. If I keep doing for everyone else, someone will eventually notice me and someone will turn around and they'll also meet my needs. If I give enough, I won't have to ask. They'll just see it. Have you ever felt like that? And if I just keep showing up, maybe someone will show up for me. I even prayed, God, I am so tired. Why does it feel like nobody sees what I'm carrying? So at one point, I talked to a counselor about this, and she gave me a picture that stuck with me. She said, people pleasing is like being on a seesaw. You're at the top, constantly feeding the person that is at the bottom. You're helping them. You're fixing them. You're carrying the weight of what they have. And you're making sure that they're okay. But no one is feeding you. So you stay up there and you're pouring until eventually you're starving. And maybe, okay, it's not a literal seesaw, but you know that feeling where you're just constantly pouring out and you're quietly hoping someone notices you're empty. So guys, that's what people pleasing does. It keeps you giving with this quiet hope that somehow it'll all just come back around. But most of the time, it doesn't. And you just end up depleted. So I think there's a false belief. Okay, many of us moms are caring quietly. It sounds like this, that if we don't have needs, that makes us more valuable. That like being the one who never asks for anything, who is always available, who is always going when we're tired, who makes everyone else's life easier, means that we're doing it right. So have you ever felt that? Like being a good mom meant the one who needed the least? So you push aside your exhaustion, you push aside your emotions and your limits because everyone else needs feel louder. And we get so good at meeting those needs, right? Like too good. And guess what happens? We slowly are becoming strangers to our own needs. And I've done this. I've told myself I should just handle it. Even when I knew better. Even when I knew I couldn't do everything. Guys, even when I knew my kids should be learning something, doing a chore, they should take care of that. I knew I should step back, and that was healthier. And still, at the root of it, I just felt like a sense of ownership. And when I started stepping back and letting others take responsibility, I had to confront this weird, uncomfortable feeling underneath it. It felt like something was being taken from me. And it sounded kind of like this. If they don't need me, what does that mean about my value as a mom? And I know that's hard to admit, but I think a lot of moms feel this way. We don't say it, we feel like it. And it feels terrible. It almost feels like you're working yourself out of a job emotionally. And like your importance was tied to being needed. So I think we're not just talking about boundaries here. I think what's really at stake here is our identity. Because man, can it look noble and even quite spiritual. But a lot of times it's just self-erasure with a Bible verse taped to it. Let me say this clearly. Pretending you don't have needs does not make you holy. It makes you exhausted. It makes you resentful, and it disconnects you from yourself. So eventually you don't even know where you end and everyone else begins. So what does scripture actually say? Galatians 1:10 says this, am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? That's like a powerful question, right? Because people pleasing can look loving, it can look generous, selfless even, or spiritual, but underneath, what's there? If you peek underneath, what are we going to see? It's often fear, right? Fear of disappointing people. You have a fear of being misunderstood or losing the approval of your husband and your kids, your friends, and just not being enough. You've got to be useful to be enough, right? And there are times we're saying yes, but there is no peace behind it. That's not a true yes. That's a yes driven by fear. So Proverbs 4:23 says it like this, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. We treat guarding our heart, our peace, and our energy and our limits like it's selfish. And why do we do that? Because scripture is calling it wise. Because everything flows from our heart. So guys, if our heart is depleted, if it is overextended, dried up, ignored, of course it affects how we are showing up in our relationships, in our home, when we make decisions, our peace. So are we ever going to ask this question? Why do we keep asking God for peace while refusing to create space that we need for peace? And in Luke 5:16, it says, Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Often. On purpose. He didn't live as if everyone was his to carry. And he loved deeply and he served faithfully. But y'all, he still stepped away. He had a rhythm and he had limits. So if it's good enough for Jesus, why do we think being a good mom means we should have no limits? I think a lot of the guilt we feel is we confuse love with limitlessness. We feel like if we're going to be loving, we should have no limits. But that is not the same. Love does not mean an endless access to us. And it doesn't mean we're always available. And it doesn't mean we say yes every time someone needs something. And love is not proven by how much you disappear. Healthy boundaries are not punishment. We need to see them as clarity. They help you to see what is yours to carry and what is not, so that you can stop over functionings and you can stop calling over functioning peace and stop calling self-abandonment as kindness. Because a lot of times we're not protecting peace, are we? Instead, it looks like protecting our comfort. We're protecting ourselves from what people think of us, or a version of ourselves that like never rocks the boat. But that's not peace. That's not real peace that's rooted in truth. So let me leave you with 3 simple questions. Okay, when guilt is coming up for you, I want you to ask, number 1, am I saying yes out of love or out of fear? Number 2, is this mine to carry? Because not everything near you belongs to you. And not every problem is yours to fix. Number 3, what would protecting my peace look like here? Maybe you're just needing to say no. Maybe you just need to put a pause before you answer. Maybe you need to stop rescuing that person and let someone, for goodness sake, be disappointed. And you might even have to ask for help sometimes. And I know it's hard for us to do that, because someone's disappointment can feel like that's your fault. But sometimes it's just what happens when you stop overgiving. So this conversation feels really meaningful to me, because what I keep seeing over and over is that so much of what moms are carrying, we are carrying mental clutter and overwhelm, resentment, and all this pressure. And we feel like we're being stretched thin and we have no peace. And it all connects back to boundaries and clarity and priorities. Have you been noticing this too? And this is why this message has been getting louder. This isn't just about saying no. It's about living in truth and stewarding your energy and no longer disappearing inside your own life. We have got to get honest that we were never meant to carry all of this. And if you've been here for the Freedom Spark journey, I want to thank you. Thank you for listening, and just thank you for growing with me and for being here and to hear as this message has become clearer. Because next episode, we're stepping into something new, and I'm going to be sharing a big change in the podcast and where we are going to be headed. So if you've been thinking, this is exactly what I need more of, you're going to want to come back for that. And one more quick thing. I'm working on something simple and just practical tools to help you actually apply this in real life. So I'm posting a poll inside of the Facebook group where you can go vote on what would help you the most. And if you're not in the group yet, come join us. Now, the Facebook page is being called Healthy Boundaries for Moms, because that is going to be our new name starting on the next episode. And I'm going to share more with that in the next episode. So I want you to be part of that and come join us. Hey friend, I hope this episode helped you. If so, come join us in the Healthy Boundaries for Moms Facebook group. That's where we go deeper, share what's really working, and support each other in real life. And if you haven't already, hit follow and leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts. It helps more moms find this message. Now friend, go say no to what's stealing your peace and say yes to something you really need. And I'll meet you back here in the next episode.